Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching my video. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to go over today a few things that were brought to my attention in a couple questions that I was asked by a few of my followers, friends, and some of my family. Now, before I get started, I started this nomad life. Some people don't really understand the concept of it, which is okay. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I have no problem with that. But I've always wanted to go back out on the road. I was a truck driver for 3 years, and I came home off the road to do my break, which is called home time, and I had a medical appointment. So I went to that medical appointment, and it was more than what I came home for. So, for those of you that don't know, I am a cancer survivor. It's been over 2 years now. This July 4th will be my third Independence Day. Yes. So, but the reason why I wanted to adventure out again is because when I was a truck driver, I saw so much, and I saw more than what I have in over 30 years of living in Florida. I resided in Florida since I was a little girl in in Orlando area, and I've been to a lot of places, so I thought, until I became a truck driver, and it opened my eyes up to so much. Uh, Things you would see in a movie or in a book or somebody else's travel or even on the Hallmark Channel. You think, ooh, that's so beautiful. I want to go there. So that leads to me telling you I have a bucket list like 10 miles long. So, with this opportunity that opened up for me, some people don't really uh, believe in putting things out in the universe. Well, I do, and I did. And yes, another realm is everything is done in God's timing, not in yours. So here I am now, a week into living out on the road. I had a very nice car, but I traded it in for a minivan. I couldn't be any happier. I couldn't feel any more free. I feel like I actually have control over my destiny, so to speak. Um, I have control of where I go, what I see, when I see it, how long I stay in a certain spot. Um, there's a lot of videos that I have in my lineup and on my channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe below, because I have so many adventures that I'm going to be sharing with you. I'm going to be uploading all these videos. And my main goal on my YouTube channel is to inspire people to actually get out and do things. Don't let 2021 or 2020 or the pandemic or COVID actually define you. Now, I've said that in another video, but I will say it again. Life is too short. So please make something of it. Mm-hmm. So I have been announcing that I am a nomad. I do live out on the road. So, like I said, it's been a week now. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but it is February of 2021. And I've made videos leading up to actually doing this full time. I have a couple questions from, like I said, some friends and followers and family that I compiled and I wanted to share with you. So you might just get a little bit of more of an understanding, and you'll probably understand the lifestyle a little better. It might bring you a couple tips. You might learn something from it, and you might want to travel more to see how much you can tolerate outside of your home and your comfort zone. And me being a truck driver, or actually I should say, because once you're a truck driver, it's always in your blood. But me being a former truck driver, it gave me the confidence to be out here in this big giant world around strange people, strange areas, unfamiliar territory without any doubt and with ease. It's like a big giant adventure. And I have gotten many books on this that I have read, highlighted, put little sticky tabs in, made lists. I have 4 spiral notebooks with places that I am going to be doing in 2021, per weather, of course. So back to the list. If you guys have any place that you have been that you want to go to, start making a list. I really do suggest that you just start jotting down places that you really had a good time or made a good impression. Even if family took you there, even if friends took you there, even if you um, went to a friend's house and stayed there for a couple nights and they took you somewhere and you really liked it, just jot it down. Google it, check it out, see if it's feasible. You can start in short spurts, a 2-day trip, a 3-day trip, even a 24-hour trip. I started mine out um, camping locally, and I only did one night, and it went really good. So if you like camping, I have many places I can share with you that are for free. You can camp there for free. So comment below, and don't forget, like I said, subscribe and click that notification bell because that will alert you when I do a new video. So I'm going to go ahead and start with these now. The questions are not in any certain order, and my answers are my own opinions. They're not facts. So let me just clarify that. If you have any comments about any of the questions, or if you feel you have other questions that I don't cover, be more than welcome. Just more than welcome, comment below. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. How do you plan on where you are going? How do you plan where you're going? Is what the question's obviously supposed to be. Like I said before, I actually start with my past. Start with your past, make a list, like I said, and then try to add little things that you think that would be along the route or within your budget, which is another topic I'm going to do doing a video on is about budget. Places that actually made you happy, that you caught yourself saying, oh man, I'd love to do that again. I'd love to go there again. Oh my God, that's so cool. I love this place. Yeah, that's an impression, and it's probably one that would actually stick for quite some time. Okay, so here's question number 2. What or how did you make the decision to be a nomad? Like I said, it's basically because I have an advantage of being a truck driver, which really opened up my eyes to this big giant world we live in. I also the other one of the other reasons why and what made that decision is freedom. You can work wherever you want. You can make money however you want. You don't have to. Punch a time clock. You can come and go as you please. You can stay at that job. You can make the agreement to stay there 2 to 3 months, 2 week contract. There's a lot of jobs out there that nomads do on a yearly basis, monthly basis. Um, Me, myself, and I do Uber Eats. It's safe. I will not do Uber. Um, but if you have questions about Uber Eats, just comment below. If you ever thought about doing that, comment below. I can give you some tips if you don't know anybody that's doing it. Let's see. How much do you make money wise out on the road? Like I just said, it depends on where you want to go. If you have a savings, if you have a 401k that you can pull out of, if you keep your full time job, which some people do, they actually have a full time job and they still live out of their vehicle. It's just pro choice. You don't have rent, you don't have a water bill. Water, it's per person, but I would say about 5 gallons to 7 gallons a week for me. And that's nothing. That's not $50, $60 for a water bill per month. And let me put a little disclaimer in there. The water bill always includes your sewer, your water, taxes, municipal fees, city fees. It's not all just the water itself. So put that on there. Do you feel safe and do you have protection? Um, yes, actually, I do feel safe. Use your common sense, knowing where to go, where to park, even if you're going to do, let's say, a park, right? And you just kind of scope your surroundings, use your intuition, trust your gut. Don't doubt yourself. If you don't feel safe, then move. There's always another space. Don't try to open up your van and show everybody your life and what you got in there. That's another way of staying safe. As far as protection goes, since the trucking days, I have learned that you're not allowed to pack being an employee. Okay. I don't believe in guns. I've seen people shoot guns. I've never handled a gun, and I won't. That's just my choice. Um, I do have other things in my possession to keep me safe. And I'm also going to be having my dog, which, by the way, I've got videos on her and us and a couple little outings, so check those out on my channel. Um, they're in the lineup, so just scroll. You'll see her face, her pretty cute little corgi face. You can't miss it. But anyways, but yeah, a dog is definitely a good protection. The size of the dog, that's per preference. Some people have dogs that they've had for years and then they had to adapt to the same kind of environment as well. So, but yeah, it's all per preference. The protection is per preference, and a lot of people really don't touch on this subject because it's too personal. Some people think it's really too personal to talk about how they protect themselves. And I know that there are free classes for protection, self defense. I know that there's classes out there, but I have to schedule myself around those. So, back to the list. All right, another one is how do you stay warm? I have a battery pack, and it's a big, some people know what a Jackery is, and then you just plug it into the outlet part on that battery pack, and you can use your personal heater, but always read the directions and the instructions first to see if it is feasible for that capacity of space. Whenever I stay in any kind of campgrounds, they always have the connection poles. So it's like a 50 amp or a 30 amp. Sometimes you have to have those little, which I do have, the little conversion plugins that convert the power to what is allowed. So it's very it can be confusing sometimes to people. that are new. How do you get your mail? Right now, because I'm still new, I haven't had to change anything. But if you were to be a nomad and you didn't have um, a home address, you can use your family address if they allow you. Um, Friends, you can use an Amazon locker. You can do a P.O. box. Now, the P.O. box, well, I've also heard from um, one of the nomad friends in my community that they actually do a mail forwarding service where they get the mail, they sift through it, they call you and say, hey, you got mail, or they email you, or they text you, whatever your preference is with that company. And sometimes they'll even take a picture of a certain envelope, and then you give them authorization to actually open it. And there's also other ways to like scan it. They scan it and they send it to you by email, so you actually have a copy of it. So there's so many ways of getting mail. So that is not a problem. If you order something from Amazon or any other company, like I said, there's Amazon lockers, um, and there's also the PO box. There's the post office. If you order something sitting in a certain place, you know you're gonna be there for a week or 2 weeks. Use a local post office address to send it to, and then you can go pick it up. Let's see. Have you met many people doing the same lifestyle? Yes. I've met two in person so far, which I am looking forward to seeing them again and hanging out in a longer time. I have over 330 nomad community friends that I call extended family. And I also have a select few that I am really top five really want to meet. So, and they probably know who they are if they're watching this video. But you will meet a lot of people out on the road. And when you're, let's say, at a store and you strike up a conversation, don't announce that you're living out on the road, because some people, they don't, like I said, they don't understand the concept and they think you're homeless living out of your car. It's not true. So some people, you just can't get it through their head. They're just so used to living in a house or an apartment or with somebody that they really don't really understand this lifestyle or this decision to live like this. So you'll meet people, just less is more for your own safety. That's my opinion. That's my suggestion. That's my tip. Let's see. How much gas do you use? That's a hard one, because it depends if you go, like for me, my first trip, I went, like I said, on my camping trip, I went 34 miles round trip. The second time I went over 208 miles. And then the third time I went, which was my first full time, I ran around town for like a week. Getting the van fixed, getting my health fixed, picking up my prescriptions, getting my hair cut, getting all that stuff ready so that when I'm out on the road, I don't have to worry about anything. Um, I've gone about 790 miles. My next trip is about 134 miles, and that is actually popping in and out of certain places that I have on my list. So I have spiral notebooks like this one with places to go. Um, I've even looked up garage sales. Places in Florida. I got Florida on the list. I've got all kinds of places. I've got Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas. I'm actually staying on the lower side because of the weather up north. I did have a huge plan to go to Tennessee between the 10th and the 15th. And I was going to go to Nashville and Knoxville and Gatlinburg, but the weather is just not feasible right now for me. Per choice. See what I mean? You have a choice to reroute yourself and go somewhere else and then go back to your list. Speaking of list, I got more questions. Um, what's the one thing you miss about living in a house? Um, constant run of water. Um, making coffee through an electric coffee pot, which you can do at campgrounds through their plugs, but you can't set it. You know, I had one that I could set and it would make coffee at a certain time. My plants. I had many different plants. And like I said, if you look in my videos on my lineup, you'll see the plants because I did a couple of videos of plants with my plants. Um, I had a tomato plant that was itty bit, and now it's like 6 foot tall and it produces cherry tomatoes. Really good. But yeah, I do miss my plants. About 3 days before I left, maybe longer, um, yeah, I think it was a week before, my oldest daughter came over, and before she left, she agreed to take my plants, my potted plants, home with her. So I helped her load them up in her car, and they're in a nice, loving home. So my plants are good. I gave them to her, so now they're all hers. So enjoy. But yeah, those are just some of the things that I miss. Yeah, there's probably more, but right now I think those are my top. Let's see what else we got here. How do you go to the bathroom and stay clean? Okay. I really don't have that problem. If uh, that goes back to trucking days. Um, there's some times where you have to really pee really bad and you can't make it to the next stop or the next gas station or the next store or the next Wawa or the next whatever. And sometimes you just gotta pee in a cup. Mm, that's just the way it is. Some people have been, you should be able to relate to that sitting in traffic one day somewhere in your life where you had to pee really bad. Now, guys, they can pee in a bottle. Us women, it's a little more difficult. So, yeah, that's, and staying clean. I have a Planet Fitness membership, which is a suggestion that I give you because you can go and get the black card and go to any Planet Fitness around the US and take a shower. Just go straight in. If you want to work out, you can, but you can go straight to the showers, change your clothes, brush your teeth, do everything. And here's another tip: if you have a cell phone or a battery pack like this, okay, bring it in with you and plug it in and charge it while you're taking a shower. That's another tip. So those are the ways that I do that. Let's see, what's one place you've been and will be going to again and recording that? Um, Tennessee. I love the mountains in Tennessee, Chattanooga, right around the Chattanooga area. I've been all over Tennessee. Don't get me wrong. I've been everywhere. Um, but the one place I do want to go is Ruby Falls. And that is basically a few miles off of the Georgia and Tennessee line. It's it's kind of weird, but I know all the roads. I'm not going to confuse you on this video with roads, but I do have the experience. So if I was to go to Ruby Falls right now, I wouldn't need navigation. I would just need it to know where the entrance is. Um, but no, when I was a truck driver and I was in Tampa, Florida at the Amazon, and I had to deliver all the way across to Moreno Valley, California, Amazon. It's one straight shot. Did you know that I-10 goes from Florida all the way to California? One straight shot. Mm-hmm. And I know there's many other roads that go from east to west straight across. I do know that, but I'm just using this as a reference. So sometimes you'll know how to get to places because it was so beautiful and had made such a big impression that it kind of stuck in your head. So Ruby Falls. I've also gone to the Florida Caverns. That was gorgeous. I did a video on that. You should watch that. it's really good. I really did record the tour with the tour guide. Her name was Kat. She was awesome. If you guys ever go to the Florida Caverns, please make sure you get Kat. That's just per preference, right? Okay, let's see. What are the hard parts about van life? Not having running water, uh, not having a running toilet, like you can just pee whenever or go to the bathroom whenever. Um, the weather, you're chasing the weather. That's the big one. Um, Dealing with people that don't know how to drive, people that don't use blinkers, people that don't get over when rescue or emergency vehicles are on the side. They don't give the courtesy and move over. You know that is a law. Um, and watching my diet, which I have to do because I'm diabetic. So it's a little harder on the road because I do have a big giant Rubbermaid tote of food, and I do have a 2 burner stove and a 1 burner stove. Um, but it's just hard to eat 3 times a day when you're on a special diet. That's my answer to that question. All right. Will I have enough battery power? Will my van start after a cold night? Okay, so as far as the battery pack, I mean the power, I've got a battery pack. I've also got this solar um, charger, which my phone right now is hooked up to. You always have places to go. You can plug things in. If you can go into a Dunkin' Donuts for an hour, you can charge stuff. You can charge it anywhere. You can charge it into, like I said, a Planet Fitness bathroom. Just no, not really. I don't really have problems with that. My vans start after a cold night. That's a good question because I have been told that there's this stuff called Reflectix, and some people actually open up their hood, they put the Reflectix, lay it over their engine, and then close the hood because it keeps the cold and the frost and the ice away from the engine. You know, that's on the cover that makes it 100 times colder underneath, and then your battery. Um, your battery. I have an 800 cold cranking amp battery. Always have a alternator tester with you. It looks like a little box and a little metal needle pen sort of thing, and you just touch it and it tells you how many amps that your alternator's at. So did you also know that the alternator does not start the car? It's the battery, and the battery doesn't need the alternator to actually start the car or the van. I know some vehicles that actually have two, somehow finagled 2 batteries underneath their hood, and then they have a deep cycle battery inside of their vehicle to charge stuff with. So it's very technical, but once you're a nomad, you'll understand it. Do I have enough water? Yes. There's always places to get water at campgrounds. They have the spouts at the truck stops. They have spouts at the gas pumps. Um, you can fill them up anywhere. If you have gallon jugs, you can fill them up at any faucet. But there is a water machine. I think it's like a quarter that it'll fill up your jug. So yes, I never run out of water. Let's see. Are my tires going to make it through this season on the road? Yes. You always have a tire inflator with you, or a tire, it's like a little stick, and you just stick it in there and it'll pop out and it'll check how many pounds of air that are in your tires. You always have a tire checker with you. Tire gauge. How, no, I already answered that one. Yeah, I think I've answered all of them. Yep. So here are some of the difficult questions that nomads actually ask themselves. Um, how do, well, these are some of the concerns, I should say. I hope I can make it up this mountain. Depends on the weight and if you are dragging a trailer or if you have a fifth wheel. Do I have the right fire extinguisher? That's a good question. You should always have an all purpose fire extinguisher on board. Always. Are my batteries going to last this camping trip? Yeah, that's a good one too. Got to make sure you have backup. Do I have enough signal to connect? Yes, you always check your signal. Some people buy those Wii Boosts. I don't need any of that, but it depends on what um, electronics that you want to run. Me, I just basically do everything off my phone when I'm camping. How are the mosquitoes going to be at my campsite? Oh, yeah, you actually have to call your campsite and actually ask the camp host or whoever answers the phone, how's the mosquitoes out there? Always have mosquito spray. They make these little bracelets, coil bracelets, real cheap. You can get them at Walmart that repel mosquitoes, and have a mosquito net for your hat and a mosquito net for your windows. I wonder if I'm going to be able to sleep through the storm. Yes, there's a lot of times where we have storms that we can't outrun, and you always try to find higher ground and you don't sit in a dirt parking lot because you will probably get stuck. Levelers, that's one thing that some of the nomads do have. I haven't done anything of that sort yet, so, but always try to stay on a concrete place, concrete parking lot, concrete pad at a campground. That's definitely my suggestion. And the last one is, oh my God, what did I just run over? Oh, oh my God, what did I just run over? What was that? Yeah, I've done that a few times, even in the truck. Um, you just, some things you just can't see, and you wonder, oh my God, what just happened? And then you got to get out and look. So that was one of the main rules of trucking is GOAL, goal, get out and look. If you're in doubt, you always get out and look. Always. And it's also for your own safety and safety of your pets or whoever's on board. So, but anyways, that is definitely all I have for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you learned something. And like I said, if you want to do so, please comment below. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will not be left out next time that I put a adventurous video up. And until then, thank you so much again. Take care, stay safe, and ciao for now.